Shock horror for England over in the Nations League as they lose at home to Greece. Who'd have saw that coming? Anybody? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, but once again, our prediction video today. It's all about matchday number 4, that's right, over in the UEFA Nations League. This, of course, is part 1 of a 3-part series, of course, over the next few days. But today, it's all about the clubs that did take place, who played on the October the 10th. They go again, including England, who, of course, suffered a shock defeat against Greece. We'll get into all that and more in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button. One-stop shop for UEFA League, Nations League, Blackburn Rovers, World Football. We got it all here under one Rooski. That's right. Can England bounce back? Or will they lose again under Lee Carsley? We'll talk about it in a minute. Big shout out to the VIPs, the other Patreons. You know who you are. And a big shout out to the members. You know who you are. All, of course, part of the forever growing family. That is Blackburn Rovers Seas. There is another way, of course, for becoming a part of the family. What am I talking about? Well, I am talking about this, guys and gals. Of course, we are closing into voting conclusion. That is, of course, the Football Content Creator Awards. Blackburn Rovers Seas has been nominated for not 1, but 2 awards. And I need your votes for both of these. And I do appreciate your love so far, but we're not there yet. We do need more votes. I think it's borderline right now if we're going to feature in the top 3. And I need your votes, whether you're from England, Greece, Ireland, Finland, I don't even know, wherever you are. Please, please, please go ahead and vote. Which other part of the content creators out there do this kind of videos? You do go to this extreme. I don't think any of them do. So please go ahead and do just that. Cutley/vote BRFC. There is a link in the description. And of course, there's a QR code on the screen as well. So please get a minute and go ahead and vote. All right, then, folks, we are going to turn back the clock a little bit to the October the 10th matches and bring you back up to date with the results and what that's done to the table. So let's get into it. These were the results. And there was a couple of shockers, of course, highlighted by England's loss to Greece, but France made easy work of Israel in the end. 4-1 it was. Meanwhile, one of the games of the round, Italy against Belgium, ended up 2-2 over in Italy. Though in England, at Wembley, it was Greece coming out on top, and they deserved it. They were the better side. Of course, it was a special memorial, memorable occasion, of course, following on the shock news about George Baldock. Of course, played the majority of his career in England. Greek national player, of course, switching his allegiance as well to Greece, and the tragedy with that. So a great result for Greece in honour of the tragedy there. But England got work to do, you would think, under Lee Carsley. Meanwhile, Ireland got a big win against Finland, despite going behind in that one. Austria turned on the flare against Kazakhstan, 4-0 winners. Norway, the golden generation, with a big 3-0 win over Slovenia. Meanwhile, in Latvia, North Macedonia came out on top with a 3-0 win. The Faroes picked up a 2-2 draw against Armenia, which is a good result for them. The Rock of Gibraltar picked up a 1-0 win over San Marino, and Moldova made light work of Andorra in the battle of the blue, yellow and reds. Those were the games. These were the results of the table. As you see, we, of course, played part 1 so far of a 3-clump match number 3. Of course, and these are the tables that have been changed over in League A Group 2. Italy still lead the charge ahead of France right now in a very hotly tipped race to see who comes out on top on that group. Looks like Israel will be going back down to League B at the conclusion of this Nations League. They're definitely a massive divide between themselves and the rest. Meanwhile, where else have we got any changes? Over in League B Group 2, it looks like it could be Greece. 3 wins from 3. They're playing absolute phenomenal football. Hopefully this continues into the World Cup. Love to see Greece back on the world stage. They made, I absolutely flabbergasted I was by the result, because England, I thought they would walk all over them, but goodness gracious me, England could be in trouble as well. They've got to go to Greece still to get a result there, and I don't think that's going to happen. Meanwhile, Ireland as well, got a good win for them to close in on potential second spot. In League B, Group 3, Norway lead the charge over there. Austria closing in on them as well. Moving down, we have League C, Group 4 change. North Macedonia opening up a 3-point lead over Armenia, of course. And then at the bottom of the pile here, Gibraltar unbeaten so far, 4 points of a possible 6. Moldova, 2 wins out of 2 to complete their amazing start to their Nations League adventure. Those are those. Don't forget to vote. Absolutely free, 100% free. And of course, we are going to roll into match day number 4 now over in the Nations League. Part 1. We'll have the rest of the parts as of when we get them. And these are your games. That's right. We're going to start with a trip to Finland. That's right, for the English. That's right, folks. We're heading over to the Helsinki Olympic Stadium. That's right, Finland under Markku Kanerva up against England and Lee Carsley will take place on the 13th of October. Finland coming at you, 0 points so far in the competition. Bottom of the pile, that's League B Group 2 with 5 matches without a win. Meanwhile, England, 4 wins, 2 defeats so far. Coming at you with 67% form, of course, sitting second in the table with 6 points. Now, these two sides have just played them once. It was the reverse fixture, of course, back in England, back in September 2024. England coming out on top with a 2-0 win. England, though, did lose last time around, of course, and it's been so far, prior to the Greek game, it was pretty flawless for England with clean sheets against Ireland and Finland. But, of course, now things are going to go cranked up a notch if they're going to be in top spot. Meanwhile, the Finns yet to taste victory. Of course, they've only scored 1 goal thus far in this Nations League phase. That was in the last game against Ireland. But back-to-back home games for them. Tricky one it would be for England, you would imagine, but there is no odds at the moment. So we're going to have to go with my gut. And my gut is leaning towards an England victory here. I was leaning towards an England victory in the last one against Greece, but guess what? Greece showed up and they showed that, of course, they are the team to stop in this division over the nation. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win, England taking it to the house and look to bounce back from that shock horror in the last game against the Greeks. Speaking of those Greeks, we go over there now to the Karanakis Stadium, of course, over in Greece, as top of the pile. Greece, of course, League B Group 2, take on Ireland, who've got their first victory under Helmar Hallgrímsson. They come into us on 33% form, winning 2 and losing 4 of the last 6 games, with Greece winning 4 on the bounce under Ivan Jovanic. Greece, of course, looking pretty good right now. 5, is it even Jovanic is the coach? Let me know down below. They played 5 times, these two sides, since 2002. 4 wins for Greece, nothing for Ireland, and there's been 1 draw between the two sides. Most recent match being that in the reverse fixture in Ireland, 2-0 win it was way back in September 2024. They are familiar opponents of recent years, with Ireland not getting a result against them over the last 4 occasions, really. It's been 4 defeats on the spin for them. They only scored 1 goal against Greece, and that was back in June 2023. So far, though, Ireland have responded with a 2-1 win over Finland. Maybe, just maybe, there's a turning of the tide here. As for Greece, though, they've looked good so far, beating Finland and Ireland in quick succession, and they went to England and they got themselves an absolute fascinating result there. So looking good for them right now. And again, no odds here, so we're going to go with my gut. And if they play anything, if they give 10% of what they did against England, they should win this game against the Irish. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win that way as well. The Greeks looking to be in charge here over in League B Group 2. That's right. But still got work to do. And of course, the big game will be back in November when Greece will take on England in Greece at this probably stadium in a month's time. Head over to Kazakhstan now as they take on Slovenia, the Central Stadium. That's right, over in Spatav or Almaty over in Kazakhstan. Of course, the Kazakhstanis, managed by Stanislav Cheryshev, without a win in the last 6. They are rock bottom with just 1 point over in League B Group 3. That's right. Slovenia, on the flip side, under Matthias Kek, the Camacho, 42% form for them right now. Just 1 win in the last 6. Now, these two nations have played 3 times since 2023. Nothing for Kazakhstan, 3 for Slovenia. There's been 0 draws at the moment. The most recent match was the reverse fixture back in September. 3-0 win it was for Slovenia, who, of course, have got 3 wins on the bounce, stretching all the way back to the Euro qualifiers way back in 2023. So far, though, the Kazakhstanis have yet to score in this Nations League, but they have got 1 point, and that was a solid one against the Norwegians. So in fact, if there's one positive for the Kazakhstanis, is they are unbeaten so far in the Nations League at home, picking up that 0-0 draw against Norway, but they've not scored whenever they've played. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Slovenia, losing last summer on the road. They are unbeaten at home, of course, winless, or pointless, should we say, on the road. So maybe that will lean in favour of the Kazakhstanis. Getting got no odds on this one. And I think, I was going to say, I might lean a little bit towards the draw, but no. I think Slovenia will have too much in the tank. But I'm giving Kazakhstanis a goal, which could be something they could build on for the future. Head over to Austria now, as Austria under Ralf Rangnick, who are second right now over in League B Group 3, up against Norway, who topped the table with Ståle Stolbakken. That's right, played 8 times these two nations since 1959. We've got 5 wins for Austria, 2 for Norway. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. Rangnick's boys, just 1 win in 4 for them at the moment, up against Norway. Back-to-back wins, and of course, pretty faultless so far in this Nations League. They did play the reverse fixture in Norway back in September. It was a 2-1 win for the Norwegians, and the last time they played actually Austria in November 2020 in the same competition, it ended up all square. The Norwegians thus far perfect at home. On the road, of course, yet to get a win and get to score a goal. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Austria at home, perfect as well so far. 4-0 win last time around against Kazakhstan. Can they add to it this time around? No bookies on this one. I'm going to go with my gut. My gut says it's going to be a tie. Even Stevens goal fest, though, 2-2 at the end. Something to get excited about, my thinks, over in League B Group 3. Head on over to Armenia now, as Alexander Petrakov's Armenians take on Blagolola Milevski's North Macedonia. That's right, coming out to League C Group 4. Played 14 times since 1995. 4 wins for Armenia, 7 wins for North Macedonia. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. Armenia, though, sits second at the moment, 4 points over possible, what we're looking at, 9 thus far. Just 1 defeat so far in this Nations League. North Macedonia, though, are top of the bloody pops. Back-to-back wins, 7 points over possible 9, and look pretty good at the moment. In fact, North Macedonia are looking hot to bloody trot against Armenia, picking up 3 wins on the bounce, conceding just the 1 goal and the last 4 against Armenia. But coming into this, Armenia on the back of that 2-2 draw against the Faroes. That was on the road, and their home record is pretty good. Played 1-1-1 and scored 4, that's right, against Latvia last time they were at this very stadium. Meanwhile, North Macedonia's away record is okay, picking up 4 points of a possible 6, beating Latvia and drawing with the Faroes. Can they complete the trio by getting a point off of Armenia or more? Well, that's the tail of the tape here. Who's going to get what? I think I am leaning towards an away win on this one. Yeah, 1-0 winners North Macedonia. They do look the better side right now, but Armenia could give them a headache. And it might be one of those stalemates with of course, 1 error wins it all. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for North Macedonia on the road, and that is, of course, over in League C Group 4 in the Nations League. Head on over to the Faroes, as Faroe Islands and Hakan Eriksson take on Latvia under the stewardship of Dennis Kavričiks. Trovoslaw is the venue. That's right, the Faroes played 7 times these two nations since 2016. For Faroes, 2 for Latvia, 4 draws between the two sides. Currently, the hosts sit bottom with 2 points over possible 9. Meanwhile, Latvia are in third with 3 points over possible 9. They picked up 1 win over the 3 games that they played. Now, these two nations last played in Latvia back in September. It was a 1-0 win for Latvia. The reverse fixture, of course, is this. But the last time they played over at this venue, they ended up all square, 1-1 back in October 2020. In fact, they've played at least 3 times. In the last 3 times they played in the Faroes, it ended up all square. That's right. So no victories thus far, it appears, when these two nations have stepped onto the island. That's right. Meanwhile, Faroes record so far when they are at home, they are unbeaten, picking up back-to-back draws. Meanwhile, Latvia have played 2 of their 3 games at home. The one time they did play on the road, they did lose 4-1 to Armenia. But of course, so can they bounce back and get their first victory on the road on this one? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be plain sailing for Latvia on this one. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be yet one of those another draws here. The Faroes to continue the trend that is a stubborn Faroe Islands when, of course, they're hosting reasonably sized opposition. Into the final 2 now we go. It's Liechtenstein up against Gibraltar. That's right, League D Group 1 at the Rhein Park Stadium. Konrad Frühstück is the manager for Liechtenstein. They currently find themselves in third with just 1 point to the name. Coming at you up against the Gibraltans, who are top of the pops under the stewardship of Uruguayan Julio Cesar Ribas Vlahovic. They are top of the pops, of course, picking up a respectable 4 points of a possible 6. And these two nations are familiar foes, playing 7 times since 2016. 1 win for Liechtenstein, 3 for Gibraltar. 3 draws between the two sides, including the last time that these two sides did play in Gibraltar. 2-2 it was. However, Gibraltar are unbeaten against Liechtenstein over the last 5, picking up 3 wins and a couple of draws to boot. The last time they played in Liechtenstein, it was a 1-0 win for the Gibraltans back in October 2020. Coming into this, though, the Liechtensteinians picked up a 1-0 win over Hong Kong, of course, in a friendly, whereas Gibraltar did get a win over San Marino to make a pretty impressive unbeaten run of 4 games, which does include wins over Andorra and a draw against the Welsh. That's right. No bookies odds on this one. Going to be tight though. Again, going to go with a 0-0 draw. Ball draw, but again, continuing Gibraltar's unbeaten run into 5 games now. Finally, folks, we hop over from one Sminos to another. It is Malta up against Moldova. That's right, the Talquan National Stadium in Malta. That's right, who are managed by Michel Marcoloni. The Italian just won winning the last 6 games for them up against Moldova, who look pretty hot to bloody trot. That's right, over in League D Group 2. 3 wins on their bounce, of course, in all competition, all venues. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Now, these two sides have played 4 times since 2007. Nothing for Malta, 2 for Moldova, and there's been 2 draws, of course. Last time they played, it was the reverse fixture in Moldova back in September 2024. Moldova coming out on top. The last time they played in Malta was way back in March 2016, and it was a 0-0 draw. Malta, though, on the back of a 1-0 win against Andorra on the road. Moldova picking up the same scoreline, 2-0 winners over Andorra, of course, just this past 24 hours or so. So quite tight on the recent run of events. It is in Malta. It's going to be tricky. But I think Moldova should have the quality to, oh my gosh, I've gone with it. Gone with the surprise here. 2-1 winners. Malta getting their first victory over Moldova over in League D Group 2 to put a right old rat's nest in this old group. That's my take on it, guys. Be sure to get, of course, your own picks down below. And, of course, come back again when we've got plenty more action in League match number 4 in the Nations League. We've got part 2 and part 3, 2 still to come. And, of course, don't forget to vote. Blackburn FCs have been nominated for not 1, but 2 awards at this year's Football Content Creator Awards. Best Club Content Creator, Football League. Best Podcast for the Football League. So please, please, please go ahead and vote your bloody socks off. I do appreciate the loving. Cutley/vote BRFC. The QR code is on the screen. Who else does this? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. I'm here to the bitter end, and I do appreciate the loving. So please subscribe, smash the like, and of course, we'll see you soon when we come back for some more football in the Nations League.